Hey YouTube, today my intention was to react to episode 5, but unfortunately, I think first off, I just wanted to say that I did end up losing the footage for episode 4, which was really, really unfortunate. Just so tragic when I lost it, especially because episode 4 of this series was very, very interesting in the fact that we actually got a new perspective of a new main character, and I just thought it was really cool. So starting off, I just wanted to really go quickly about my thoughts. I thought the new main character was interesting that his whole thing was to be very negative as to what his view on Earth is, right? He thinks that Earth is just full of negativity. It is full of just sadness, very nihilistic, right? And right here, this whole conversation is just talking about how everything else, because we are at the center of the universe, everything that's dark and bleak just comes down to Earth, which is why when we look at the sky, it is so bright and beautiful. And I just thought that was very, very interesting, because it's a complete contrast towards like what the religious perspective was in the previous arc, which was to elevate our place in the universe, our standing. And I just it was a really, really, really interesting contrast. So yeah, also I did see that in the opening they changed the main character. Kind of sad, but I thought it was pretty cool. And I did see that there's some hints at like some of the main character changes. So I thought that was very interesting as well. Also, I think that these two, I don't know, I kind of see them as the main characters right now, is that their line of work is very, very like close to death, and the way that it feels like such a close encounter to them, where it almost feels like they need to have a very strong ideology as to what life means to them in order for them to keep their sanity. So that was very interesting. I honestly like it was very cool how they were portrayed as just people doing their jobs. This isn't something that they're doing out of like necessity or like emotional, like they want to kill people or anything like that. On the contrary, it feels like they're very hesitant to do so, but they do so anyways because, like I said, it is their job. It is their livelihood. And I just thought that was very interesting. So also I did see that that executioner guy of the story. So unlucky for me because I hate that guy, obviously. Also, I wanted to talk about this guy right here. I think like his partner, I guess, his friend or whatever. His backstory was very tragic. How his whole family died in a plague, and he wanted to not live anymore. And so, and by some miracle, he did live, and he found some way to cope with life, right? He, on the other hand, feels like he has no choice but to keep living in this world. So why not find a light within, or hope within the world that he lives in? So I thought that was very interesting. And he does so by looking at the sky and seeing that there's a constant, right? There's something that is repeatable in this life of his, that to him it is beautiful. Now that's something that I learned that I want to keep track of how these people see beauty in daily life. What do they see as beautiful? And so yeah, I just feel like that is something that's very important to these characters, where they're like, I want to they want life to be beautiful, and whatever that means to them, right? And whatever that might look like. So I really want to keep track of that. I know I'm going through this very fast, but like, yeah, it's just, I don't know, this episode was so insane, and it's so unfortunate that I did end up losing the footage. But yeah, also at the end, this old man convinced them to go look for this, the chest that our main character from the last arc ended up leaving in the mountain. So I don't know. They're definitely getting pushed, and they were questioned. You know, their ideologies were being pushed. So. Very interesting, and I'm definitely looking forward to what the growth of these characters is going to look like. Or maybe maybe it's going to be the opposite. Maybe it's going to be a plunge into depravity or something like that. But I guess we'll end up seeing in the next coming episode. So yeah, that is it. So with that being said, let's just get into episode 5. And thank you for your patience, and I hope you stuck with me through that little bit. And so yeah, please like and subscribe, and let's get to episode 5 of Orb on the movement of the Earth.
Novak さんの責任になるって分かってます。いや、それは
Good. Get on him. I just don't like him, man. Nowak? Is that his name? Dang. Quick. It's so sad they noticed so quickly. Is he gonna try to chase them? Will he even reach? Oh wow. He actually hit the horse. I mean, that was a good shot. I'm not gonna lie. Who is this? This is interesting. I feel like our new main character would actually win, but I don't know. This guy was previously a mercenary, so. At least he's trying to follow some set of rules. Exercise your own. Classic. Dang. Man, people in search of the truth were they were desperate, man. I don't blame them, but tough times to be a sort of academic. Okay, so he's just become lazy, I guess. Or maybe he's always been like this. Huh. So, if you're considered to be stupid, they wouldn't even check. That's, I don't know how to take that. That's kind of messed up. Like, he just used them as stupid. So stupid that there's no point in actually believing that they would be capable of exercising any type of a heresy, which is viewed as something to be, inherently academic. Something that would actually take your, some level of intelligence to reproduce. That's interesting.
巻き込んでしまいすまない。しかしやり直したいかと問われたらそうではなく、おそらく何度繰り返しても。
I mean, can you blame him for trying to run though? Like he wasn't like totally on. He wasn't really someone who wanted to do this. Like I don't blame him, right? Like now low key his life is kind of over, no? What I find interesting as well is that the one who's supposed to be the main character is the one who's a lot less excited for this, while the other one, who seems to have more of a passion for the sky and such things, is the one who's not the main character, or at least that's what it looks like. But like, there's such a big mountain, no? It's not like you were shown exactly where this box would be. But I guess finding it is just fate. I don't know. It's called the plot. Yeah, I imagine that would be the case. I like how the executioner guy was like, they can't read.
この石箱の制作者で
Oh
はない
boy.
発見者だ
He's just one of those people who probably didn't have the best upbringing, but like, you know, he figured, you know, he learned how to read at some point on by his own devices. Maybe not very well versed, but I don't know. He looks like just a very, very smart, generally smart person, right? Was he as smart as Rafal? Probably not, but
この箱
Who
の
knows?
発見に至ったいきさつについて書き残そうと思う対そこに何が誰が何のために
man, if I was that person
に駆られた私は
or somebody who
その山へ
discovered
向かい
this thing, I would be
そしてこの
so
箱に出会ったのである
so entranced.
結局
By this
箱を残した
mystery.
のが誰でなぜ放置されていたのかいきさつはわからないもしこの発見のせいで私が死
Yeah,
んだとしても
it feels like something bigger than yourself. You can't help but try to be a part of it. He died with a smile on his face, with a look of satisfaction. That's crazy. That must be really crazy to him. That is part of the reason why he was so pessimistic, was that every time he killed somebody, because he had to, right? The people he killed always looked mortified, terrified. They felt like they were going to hell, per se, right? And for him, it was a reason to fear death, because he felt like maybe death was just so gruesome that they couldn't help but feel so desperate, so terrified. But now that he's seeing somebody that is smiling at death's door, that's insane. Chapter 2. Okay.
私のせいで君は町にも組合にも戻れないだろう
Yeah.
しかし自己弁護するなら今の状況を利用して全てを逆転できるかもしれん
I don't know how I would respond. Like, I personally didn't want to be involved in this. It is challenging my ideologies, telling me that the way I perceived life was wrong, and now I can't even go back to where I thought was home. That's crazy.
彼は少し前に左遷されてな
I can imagine
理
why.
由は素行不良と思想上の禁忌
Yeah.
適任だろどうかしたかい
I mean, it's a lot. They're going through a lot. Like, it's very, very quickly. But also, it is guy right here, the one who's very well spoken, I would say. He is interesting in that he wants to be very, very, he's actively trying to be a part of this. And like I said in the previous episode, which, like I said at the beginning of this episode, unfortunately, I did lose that footage. But the parallels between, or like the contrast between these two, is what's really, really doing it for me. And I really can't help but wonder what is gonna end up happening. But what are you going to do if you stay here? Like, what option does he have?
同行していただけるとありがたいがではそうします
Well, I like how he phrased it. His answer was he's being very honest that for me it would be nice if you came along with me because I want to do this. It's not necessarily to the benefit of our main character, right? I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names. Oxy.
ちょっと北極星を見
I'm terrible with names, so forgive me if I just
目をやってしまってね
I'm having a hard time with saying their names. I'm terrible with names in general.
それ以来空を見ると星が大地に生きている人間を蔑むような目に見えて
Wow, that is terrifying actually. Since he's phrasing it this way, the unknown is looking back at you, and it shines so brightly, but you don't know exactly what it is, but it's looking back at you. That is actually very, very terrifying if that is the way you look at
空
things.
は見られたのかい？
多分好きでした。
That's sad.
もう一度空を見たいとは思わないのかい？
はい。怖いんでいいです。
家族を失ってね、好きなものを失う辛さはわかるよ。
Damn.
それに比べたら大したことないです。
本人からしたら大問題だ。
いや、それにきっとグラスさん
I love this. I love this conversation.
ご家族は今頃天国にいるはずです。
私が失ったのはこの世に希望を感じる心だ。愛しい家族を奪ったこの世を呪ってた。
I mean, yeah.
だが考えてみれば愛しい家族と出会えたのもこの世だ。
Dang.
だとしたら私は家族と過ごしたこの世を否定したくない。もう一度この世を肯定したいんだ。
残酷ですが。
What a way to confront your emotions and your perspective on life after everything. It's a very difficult thing to do. It feels like these two characters are like two sides of the same coin, right? Like they both maybe at their core feel like the world is nothing but the worst. It is sad and dark. But one is trying to find hope in the world, and the other one is too afraid to even try to look at it, right? To see what's beyond the darkness, I suppose.
無理ですよ、それは。
君はもう完全にこの世を諦めてしまっているのか？
はい。この世で待っているのは喪失だけだ。しかも人はどうせすぐ死んで天国か地獄へ行くので。
Man, it's like it doesn't matter.
天国にしか。
It doesn't matter if there is hope or not. Is kind of what he's trying to say is that at the end of the day, at the end of it all, he's going to die, and he's either going to be in hell or in heaven, and that's it. There's no more. It's pointless to even consider anything in our world, and that is very like I think I said it in the past episodes that it is a very nihilistic, and it is definitely a very it feels like nihilism has also been very popular these days in our present society, which I mean I've also been through. I went through that ideology myself, so it feels like relatable to a certain sense.
天国を遠ざけて命を懸けてまでこの世を称えた。いつか出ていくこの世への思いを持つことに何の意味がある？死後に残るのは自分抜きの世界だけだ。もしかしてそれが
It's like what Rafal said in episode 3 is it isn't about purpose per se. It is about what we see beyond purpose, right? And to him it was it's beauty. It is something much more than just purpose. And that the fact that we're kind of tying this back is it's very beautiful. It's like we're expanding on Rafal's conversation. Just beautiful writing, honestly.
ここまでは私が無理やり巻き込んだ。だからここからは君に選んでほしい。そうすれば町に戻れるかもしれないし、君は天国に近づく。
でもそんなことしたらグラスさんは
He'll probably die, or he's gonna try to run away. There's no way. There's no way this is happening. What? We're not even gonna let. Wow. We're giving him the choice now. Or. No way.
これが私の
No way.
2つ目を手短に言う。この世界に期待することだ。そしていつか再びその目で空を見てくれ。
Wow. No way. No way.
託してる。このままでは2人とも死ぬ。それはダメだ。あの異端が命を張れたのはきっと託す相手
I'm
がいたからだ。
baffled.
でも私が死んでもこの世界は続く。だったらそこに何かを託せる。
Yeah.
それが喪失まみれのこの世界から生まれたある種の希望だ。君はまだ天国へ行くべきじゃない。
Dang.
なぜ？君の顔はまだ死を恐れてるからだ。
Shh. Wow. Wow. What a way to say it, man. Oh my gosh.
これが私の運命だ。
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I am. Oh. This show is ruthless, man. That was brutal. It's like he has no choice but to make a decision now. It's like you were like if he didn't give him, if he just had a normal conversation and everything, he could have said, well, how about I just don't do anything then, right? But now it feels like he has to do one or the other. It feels like before there was some compromise that could have been settled on in some way, but now it's like absolute, like it's either this way or the other way, and you have to choose. He's got quite a bit of scars on his face.
どちら様
He's been through it. He's made up his mind. Wow. This show is amazing, man. This show is effing amazing. Like I it's hard for me to even like say exactly what makes it so amazing. It feels like I'm just lacking the vocabulary for it. But like I just find the character writing to be so beautiful in this show, man. It is amazing. That's really what it comes down to. It is amazing. It is inspirational. It makes me feel hope, right? This show is very dark and very sad, and it is showing me that. But at the same time, just like they talk about that, there's this sense of hope. I feel it. I genuinely feel it when they're talking about passing on this inspiration. And it makes me feel hopeful. Even though it's very dark and sad, it's gray, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy that it makes me feel this way. So, yeah. I mean, I already said I'm sorry that I lost the footage for episode 4. I did my best to you know show what my thoughts were on that episode. And you know, like I just find it. Every episode has been so insightful, man. That is what's crazy to me. 5 episodes in, and it's been so insightful. So, I'm not going to say anymore because it feels like I've been talking a lot on this one. So, thank you for being here. If you are still here, I really appreciate it. And I appreciate all the kind messages that I've received throughout the course of these last few episodes since I started this show. Thank you. And I'll see you guys in the next one.